Thank you very much, Chairperson of this evening's proceedings, Ms. Camille Abrahams. In fact, I myself first met her just on my Meet the People tour at the John Donaldson campus just a couple of weeks ago. Seems to be a very dynamic person. Mr. Kwasi Mutemo, Deputy Chairman of the Board of Governors of UTT, Professor Rodney Ramberly from the Center of Communication and Information Technology here at UTT, our specially invited guests from Curacao, which I just had the pleasure of meeting. Very special welcome to all of you. And I hope you have a very productive and meaningful stay here, and that we at UTT is looking forward to a symbiotic relationship with you all at Curacao. Faculty and students of the Center of Communication and Information Technology, the special option of animation studies, members of the media, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening. It is with great expectations that I stand before you here this evening to bring opening remarks at this function, where we'll be witnessing the screening of UTT's final year student animation projects, which is a partial and critical component required for the award of their degree. First of all, I want to commend our academic and technical support staff for their dedication, patience, caring and nurturing disposition, vision and foresight, working with our young, talented students to produce value-added citizens who would be equipped with the appropriate skill sets to go out and create employment. And I'm referring here to export-oriented employment, rather than, as so many of our graduates do, simply go and seek employment. And in the process, what they would be doing is creating sustainable wealth and a better quality of life for all our citizens. But I want to commend you, the students, for your dedication and hard work. When you came into this program, you came in with a dream, a vision. I want to assure you that we at UTT are committed to working with you and all the stakeholders to make that dream become reality. But I want to warn you, students. I've spent my entire working career with students, and I want to warn you that you can have all the support needed, but it is you and only you that can make that dream happen. I fully know and I have experienced the frustrations as a student you may have encountered over the past couple of years, and very often saying, I want to give up, because of demanding and unsympathizing lecturers, of wanting to go to Zen or to the beach when you had deadlines to give up your assignments. But again, I want to warn you, anything that's of value does not come without sacrifices. It is only then and only then do we really come to appreciate it. I consider activities like this one that we are going to witness in a short while as critical components of our education, the educational training of our young people. One of the challenges facing Trinidad and Tobago is the urgent need to diversify our economy. We have been talking about this for umpteen years now, and nothing seems to be happening. And in this context, and quite rightly so, the creative industries, as the Deputy Chairman said, have been identified as one of those growth poles which can contribute significantly to the diversification process. An important component of this growth pole is a vibrant animation industry along its entire value chain. And in this context, this evening's exercise I consider to be very relevant and timely. But if we are going to do, brothers and sisters, develop and leverage such a sustainable animation industry, we need to build a pool of well-trained human resource with all the relevant skill sets that are needed in the entire value chain of the animation industry. And this applies to all other industries. And I think that is what we are missing in the society. It has to be an ecosystem. The educational institutes, the private sector, and the public sector coming in what is now known throughout the world as a triple helix model. And each component of the triple helix must work in sync. Again, that is where I think we are feeling. Not in terms of intelligence or creativity, it's because we are missing the essential ingredients that just make it happen. So why we have basically failed in diversifying our economy can be linked back to one important thing, and that's my view, and that is the educational training system, which has produced a lot of intelligent people, no doubt about this. But a lot of us, unfortunately, are dysfunctional, and don't misinterpret me when I say dysfunctional. Dysfunctional in the sense that we did not acquire the appropriate skill sets, both the soft skills, which is now what employers are demanding, and the hard skills required to function effectively in today's hyper-interconnected global village, driven by the rapid advances along the IT-driven communication highway. That is what is happening. The skill sets are just not there. And as I kept saying, a generation today is 3 to 4 years. You ask a typical person, what's a generation? Tell you 20 years, 25 years. It is 3 to 4 years, and I'm talking of the technological generation. And that's the world we live in. Many of us forget to realize that the cell phone is only a couple of years old. Right? We feel that it was there for life. UTT, the founding fathers of UTT, recognized this deficiency in our graduates and the urgent need to blend skills development with the knowledge components in all our curricula. This is reflected in UTT's mission and vision statements, which are well known to all of us. And I keep saying time and time again, we are living in a knowledge society, a knowledge economy, and the societies of the future will be those that use knowledge and skills to create wealth through innovation and development for the benefit of all our people. That is really the bottom line of it. A cursory glance at the global animation industry shows that its geocenter is in the Asian region. And all of this is driven mainly by Western capital. But in Asia, the Asian region, they have a relatively stable political system, skilled labor force, and relatively low wages. And that is what has driven the animation industry in the Eastern giants. The economies of industry made it feasible for Asia to feed the cartoon world to the extent that today about 90% of all American television animation is produced in Asia. So Western money and the rest of the society. India's animation industry is estimated to grow to approximately 2.9 billion US in 2015 from the present 1.8 billion. So in 2 years is expected to almost, I would say, double. But Trinidad and Tobago animation industry is poised, as Brother Mutema said, for fundamental growth, promising to provide investors substantial returns. Outsourcing by North American and European markets is an attractive proposition for us here in Trinidad to capitalize on whilst we seek to develop our own indigenous industry. We just can't go out depending upon outsourcing. But that's where you start. That will be the catalyst to drive it. Our local studios currently are ramping up production in anticipation to meet local and international demand. And animation is not only seen in terms of cartoons, but it's a wide spectrum of activities yet untapped. Well, beside the typical motion picture and animated films, in the medical and healthcare professions, in public relations, in advertising, and web commercials, But a critical area is in school curricular development, especially in math, physics, science in general, and geography. Virtualization in education with avatars is now big business, and we really should start capitalizing using our own unique human ability to do it, and we can do it. I'm pleased to know that UTT student animators are being trained to make a dent in this global animation market. And I want to tell you, when we talk about going into entrepreneurship and into business, we have to start seeing that our market is not 1.3 million. I've been saying this along. It is not 1.3 million. That's a mistake we are making. Our market today is what? Students, you want to tell me what it is? 7.5, right? That's the current world population, approximately that, close to 8. Yes, that you're correct. That is the market we have to aim at. And today, because of technology, you could be the small country, a dot on the map, and you could have the entire world as your market. And animation is something you can do. You don't need land masses, warehouses, etc. Just think of eBay, Amazon, etc. And you'll see what I'm talking about. That is the way we have to move. Otherwise, we cannot survive in this world. We'll be wrapped up. Because every country is thinking like that, and we are always playing catch-up game. And I like to quote here the Swiss psychologist, most of those who are in education know Jean Piaget, who said, the principal goal of education is to create persons who are capable of doing new things, not simply repeating what other generations have done. Men who are creative, inventive, and discoverers, close quotation. I just want to mention two things that are happening in the animation program at UTT. One is an MOU that we signed with Sheridan College Institute of Technology and Advanced Learning, a Canadian-based institution for development of its animation program opportunities. And this is one of the things that we at UTT, as one of our strategic objectives, is alliances. Not because we are a national university, it means that the only way we are going to survive is by meaningful alliances. And here we have our colleagues from Curacao. That's a start. Secondly, I want to mention this especially to our young people. The society is yearning for mentors, especially male mentors. And I want to refer to one of your own students, Anthony Batiste. I'm sure some of you may remember him. He's a graduate of the UTT's Diploma in Animation program. He got a scholarship, and he's now at Sheridan College. And this is the part. He's only 21 years old, and he grew up in St. Dominic's Children's Home. You know where he's coming from. But he will complete his education at Sheridan in 2013 shortly and return to Trinidad and Tobago to share his success story with other youths. And we predict that his platform, his message to the young people will to let the nation's youth know that one's past does not define one's future. He came from the St. Dominic's Home, and that anything is possible with hard work and determination. And one other feature that I'd like to point out about the animation program to show where we're going leaps and bounds, and I hope that other programs will follow, it's the Lab 206 project. It's an animation studio which arose out of the animation program, and simply the room was 206, right? So it's called the 206 program. And that was launched at UTT's Animation Student Screening Day 2010, much like today's Toon Market. Another thing that is worth mentioning is the animation students at UTT are currently exploring animation for online games. And a lot of you may have heard of the Carp Catcher. It's an indigenous online game created by students of UTT's 2013 class. And I think we should give them a round of applause for that. And this utilizes stop motion animation and follows local vendors, that's the crab vendors, who navigate the swamp while on crab catching expeditions. The crab catcher is just one avenue for UTT's animation students to feature their unique offerings at this year's upcoming Sci-Techno Fest. And you know that is a biannual science Sci-Tech festival organized by NIHILST. In fact, animation students also, expose their animation crab catcher initiative for the first time at the recently held World Skills event, and that was really something to behold. Right? And also recently we signed an MOU with Toon, right? The worldwide leader in digital content and animation creation software. This again to show you the kinds of linkages that we need to develop. We cannot do it in isolation. It's impossible, not in this interconnected world. So there are a lot of good things that are happening at UTT. And we at UTT, board and management, working to correct the weaknesses we do have. We are not perfect. And I'm sure with the support of everyone, we would very shortly see UTT being poised to unleash a new dimension in the education landscape of Trinidad and Tobago. But the students are the ones who are going to make it happen. And I'm asked the question, are you prepared to make it happen? And in closing, I always like to do it when I'm talking to students, is to leave you with a quotation which I really tend to philosophize. And it goes like this. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky, I'm gonna be stronger. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be so much stronger. Yes, I am. Know that I have tried my very best. I've put my spirit to the test. If I could reach higher, if I could reach, I'd reach so much higher if I could reach. Let us strive for the nation that we all dream of for the sake of our young people tonight. We can do it if we try. Thank you very much.